Hey, it's Lee Reams with CountingWorks PRO, and today's tutorial is just going to talk a little bit about AI Copilot and some of the use cases. So one of the first questions a lot of times I say is, you need to understand how to use AI to properly get the most out of it. So if you write like a first grader or first grade type question, you're going to get first grade type of results. So one of the questions I was thrown out is, what can AI do for me today? And the first thing I do is can make you better communicators. And let's just ask AI Copilot directly, how can it make a tax and accounting professional a better communicator? So it obviously analyzes all the different use cases, processes, things that you do in your office. The first one it came up with is automated responsive scheduling. We built this into our CountingWorks Pro platform, where in Client Hub now you can use AI Copilot to rewrite and actually write client responses directly in line, which is great. Obviously, it's incredible at data analysis and reporting. It can go through an income statement, give you cash flow analysis, give you KPIs. You can now personalize client interactions much better. One use case that we've used in the past is writing custom proposals for tax planning and actually putting in some of the data for a client, which is wonderful. And it will come back with like a personalized recommendation list and then a proposal and what it would cost to hire you. Real-time collaboration, natural language processing and translation, proactive communication, enhanced client education. And that would be something like a blog article, right? Sentiment analysis, virtual assistants. So we're just playing around. What does AI think we can do for you? So let's actually go in and have it do something that it says. So it's going to make me a better communicator. Let's ask it to write me a 500-word blog article about the options for my clients to save for their clients' education. We'll go ahead and process that request, give AI Copilot a few moments to digest what we're asking, and it's coming up with a blog article. Now, we could do a ton of different things. We made this more of a narrative style. So, as a tax professional, one of the most common things I hear, but it's going to go through, what are the options here? What is a 529 plan? What's a Coverdell savings account? We can ask it, we can give it in its prompt, write in certain tones. We can ask it to do calls to action. So there's a lot of different ways to do this, but basically what would maybe take you hours now, you can do very quickly. So we'll just go ahead and let it wrap up. It's going into pretty sophisticated here, getting into a lot of different options. So here's just another choice. This is how it can help you be a better communicator. So that's option one. Now let's say, okay, AI says it can make me as a tax and accounting professional a better problem solver. So let's ask it, well, how can it do that, right? So it's going to say, hey, you can leverage my tools. It always likes to use certain words, so you might want to tell it to stop, but I always see it doing rapidly evolving, things like that. But how can it help you as a better problem solver? I think the best way is data analysis, purely because it can analyze so much data so quickly. And if you're doing auditing or looking for, if you're looking at financial statements, it can detect there might be an error here or an anomaly of expenses that are super high, and it can flag it for you. Automated compliance checks, predictive analysis, enhanced data decision making, streamlining workflows is a great way. And there's a lot of software out there that's doing that now. Obviously, client communication support, learning, scenario analysis, things like that. So let's actually say, okay, let's show off your skills here. And can you show for problem solving? Let's say I wanted it to do a tax research report. So I'm not going to give it a specific tax research sample. I'm just going to say, give me a sample here. So, what is it going to do? It's going to analyze the impact of the self-deduction cap repeal on high-income earners. What is the objective? What is the scope? Historical context. And it's basically giving you an entire outline of everything that would be included in this tax research report. You can ask it tax research questions. We have our Connect group, which is a traditional forum where tax and accounting professionals ask questions. And we've been putting through questions that go through that forum through AI Copilot and getting incredible results very quickly. So it is highly accurate. So what we do that's different than the traditional, let's just say ChatGPT. Right now we're running on ChatGPT 4.0, but the difference here is that our knowledge base is updated daily, and we train our model on everything. So it's up-to-date code, and you'll find that a lot of times if you're using ChatGPT or other tools, it's going to be 6 months, 8 months behind. So a lot of times you don't get the same type of accuracy. So let's try to show off here a little bit more of what AI Copilot or tools can do. Let's ask it to write a client letter about a proposed tax legislation. This never got out of Congress so far this year. Who knows if it ever will? But we basically said, hey, can you write me a client letter summarizing individual and business proposals in the Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act of 2024? AI Copilot is able to analyze the entire text and give you individual proposals and changes as we requested. And then it will do the business proposals and changes. So again, there's a lot of stuff here that it could be human in the loop. You might want to edit things. You might want to change some tone items. The more data you put in, the better the outputs. But you can start seeing the power here. If you wanted to you probably wouldn't do this. You don't have enough time. But if you wanted to put together something like this very quickly, you're able to do that. I'm going to give a couple more use cases just to kind of show and show kind of the power of things. So WISP are now required. I just asked it to write me a WISP plan for a CPA firm. We have trained it on what a WISP plan should look like. So what does that mean as a written information security plan? If I put my company CPA name, it would personalize this. But lo and behold, yeah, you can customize and write in a matter of moments your firm's WISP policy directly in AI Copilot. So very cool kind of time savings. So let's do a couple more use cases. I'm going to do an engagement letter for a virtual CFO client who is a restaurant, and we'll give it a little time. It is able to multitask, as you can see, so it's still responding on our WISP above. This could take a while. A WISP is a long document, so this is a long output versus the restaurant virtual CFO. We talk about our virtual CFO services. What is the scope of work? What are we doing? And again, you can put more detail in the ask. But you can also edit this. But what is the scope of work? What are the responsibilities? Your responsibility, our responsibilities. What are the fees? Obviously, you can fill in the blanks here. If I had put in a number, it would have done this. But you'll see a few little items here. But this is just doing a personalized, really quick engagement letter. That again, if you're using templates or old ways to do things, that can take a long time. We'll give it a couple more questions, I guess. So now we're going to say, hey, can you create an intake form for a new tax prep client? Well, sure, I can do that. If I had given this more information, like, is this a high net worth person? Is this a boomer or someone older? It would be a lot, probably more specific to them. I'm doing a little bit broad. I'm probably not following my own best practices, but you get the idea here as it can put together a complete intake form for you, and you could customize these per client. So it's really powerful and cool. And I'll do one last one. I think I've shown off kind of what AI Copilot can do for you. But I'll do one last request. Could you write a proposal for an IRS tax problem client? It was $100,000 in tax debt to the IRS. So let's go ahead and put this together. Our intake form is still finishing up. But there it goes. So as you can see, the speed is amazing, isn't it? So it's really fun. Right now, we're doing the proposal for the IRS tax problem client. What is the understanding your situation? You owe this much money. What is the scope of services? What is my initial consultation, assessment, compliance review, communicating with the IRS, negotiation and resolution? These are some of the things I might try. Here's the fees and payment. Here's the initial consultation. So super powerful. So I'm hoping you're enjoying all of these updates, just getting different ideas on how to use AI. One thing I will say, if you've tried different chatbots in the past and gotten poor results, the usual issue there has not been trained on tax-related stuff like we do at AI Copilot with CountingWorks Pro. So it makes a huge difference in the quality. We have been finding high 90% accuracy rates. Once we got our speed figured out, it's been amazing. You can add PDF files, you can search URLs. There's a lot of different really cool tools here. So if you have any questions, reach out to us, CountingWorksPro.com, and we'll gladly give you some insight on the best ways to use AI to help your practice. Thank you.